Hello. Welcome to this first window in the Advent calendar from Dandy People. We're gonna talk about customer focus, as you can see here, and how maybe moving from a project focus to a product focus might look, and what are the maybe misconceptions that we have seen in organizations doing this. So, Elinor, good to have you here. Do you want to share some starting points?
Likewise. This is one of 14 areas we have in the new poster we are releasing. And why do we want to start here? Well, this is one of the things that is so easy to claim that, yes, of course we have customer focus because we have customers and we have a dialogue with them. But my experience is that this is one of the things that least companies actually succeed with. So I just share with you, Mia, that I sometimes compare it with learning a new thing, learning a new sport, like learning tennis. Then you start with, okay, look at the ball. That's the most important thing. Yeah, and then you think you look at the ball, but quite many years later you understand what it really means. And I think this is the same here, that one thing is to have a dialogue with customers or consumers or end users, and we see quite many companies, they have a lot of market data, but it's never really used. So yeah, we have data, but we don't take it into consideration really when it's decision time.
And on the project side here, we start with the perfect requirements, it says here, defining exactly usually how the solution should look. And maybe we don't really want to have any changes along the way. What usually happens then? Have you seen that?
Yeah, this is a good question. So of course we have a lot of biases, and we tend to fall in love with the solution, and the longer time it takes before you get the feedback that it might not really be the perfect solution, there might be others, the harder it is to change, of course.
So it usually becomes very expensive.
Yeah.
And it could be even more expensive if you actually launch this wrong solution. It could be extremely costly to maintain and have customers not being able to actually perform what you want them to do. And especially if it's a business critical thing that you're supposed to help your customers to do. If that doesn't work, you might not even get customers. So it could be extremely costly to do it this way. But of course, people do it they want to deliver something that actually works.
Yeah.
So it's in the best, interest. You really want to do a good job here. But that's usually based on how the organization look and what roles you have, if you have the ability at all to work in a different way or not. And we're going to get back to that later in the calendar. What could the organization look like, and why does this happen? And on the other side, we have more product ways of thinking and doing, which means that you continuously meet with real customers to test if the idea actually works. So if you look in the picture here, you could see that in the start here, we have the customer saying, oh, no, I don't want this, ? Okay, then we learned this was the wrong solution. And it's much cheaper to have that in a short time box instead or if you would have it at the end of the project. So let's say it takes a month. Oh, that could be costly, maybe 2 weeks, but it's much more costly to have a project-based delivery than you would have it after maybe 2 years. The learning, oh, it doesn't work. So if you compare with the other side here, you have that at the end of the project, the customer saying, oh, no, I don't understand. All customers calling to customer service. So in the product way of thinking and way of doing things, you test something and you learn and you see, does this solution actually works? And then you shift and change and adapt in an iterative and incremental way. So you could maybe also release something much earlier. which is a smaller solution, and then build on that until you can see, oh, the customer can actually do what we want them to be able to do. We get product success, and we get maybe better customer feedback, or maybe remove problems that we've seen before that we maybe could have see metrics on, let's say, on customer service, or more customers getting through, being able to do what we want them to do. So this is also measurable. So we don't have to be experts on designing the best solution. You are expert if you just look and see what happens with our real customers. That's what you should be an expert on the actual process of delivering products. And it's really amazing that most organizations, they kind of start here. And it could be a hierarchical thing as well. Coming up with the best idea. Maybe, it's not always the highest management that has the best ideas. The best ideas could actually be, formed in the cross-functional team. It's much easier to do it like this. And you as a manager could just create, the organization that works in the best way possible so that people can actually meet with their customers. That's more successful if you look at the business success.
Yeah, and it's so much more motivating to work close to end users and get feedback. It really motivates people that have that contact frequently. And here, quite often, the requirement phase, one reason we quite often hear is that, but we have suppliers, so we don't develop our own, we have others doing that. And for them to understand what we want, we create requirement specifications, or we write requirements in the deal, so to say.
Yeah, that's the worst. And you have the contract to actually deliver something that works for the customers. I've done that many times, and that's what you have to do to be actually successful then.
Yeah. And is it possible to do without the requirements? Yes, it is.
Yeah. So you can bring your the people that you have to collaborate with, even though they are from vendors outside of your organization. You can bring them into teams. You can bring them on before you actually know what solution you are going to deliver. You could just say, this is the problem we want to solve. We have maybe a platform, we have a frame, something that we have to keep within. We might even have a time box. We want to do the best thing we can do in 6 weeks or 6 months or something, and get just the teams to start doing it. It will be much less costly to have them start with nothing than to come up with all the requirements and maybe 3 years later get something that's wrong. So in this way, usually you save, it's a tenth of the time that it takes in an organization doing this. So any organization that needs to deliver faster and more stuff with better quality and doing the right things for the customers that actually solves their problem, they should look at this. So on the left side, on the poster, we have project-based ways of working, which is more costly, takes longer time, even though the best of intentions, you work really hard, but it's really hard to hit your target. And on the right side, we have the product side. Less costly, you fix the problems, you release sooner, and you get much more customer value and business value. So this was the first window, and we look forward to seeing you back the next day, tomorrow maybe. So our hope is that we can deliver one of these videos every day until the week before Christmas. So we're going to have 15 videos at the end of December.
Yes.
So see you later.
Yep. Bye for now.